Hello and welcome. You watching the Weekend Debate with me, Shavantan. Ladies and gentlemen, the festival of democracy has begun. The dates for the general elections have already been announced. The poll bugle too has also been sounded. It is now quite clear that the BJP is essentially determined to make a serious attempt at getting 400 plus. And it's not just a mere slogan, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why I'm saying this is because Prime Minister Narendra Modi goes into the election as the leader of one of the biggest coalition of an alliance in the history of India. Unlike the Congress, the BJP has shuffled its decks, shuffles its candidates and shuffles those government and politically responsibility every few years. It also brings in people with domain experience without hardcore political experience in critical positions, and as always the opposition, who is in forever is suffering from the foot in the mouth disease, has predictably served itself a self-goal ahead of the election. From no strategy, no planning and resorting to abuse politics, the INDI has hit the hammer on its foot. The INDI is completely breaking apart and till date has no face that can stand tall against the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So as the battle lines are drawn, the question is who exactly has the edge in this battle for 2024, and that's the weekend debate tonight. And also what we are essentially going to also focus, ladies and gentlemen, tonight is the fact that why exactly has the INDI Alliance, which appears to be only on paper, not been able to even perhaps field its heavyweights. That's the weekend debate tonight.
Phase 1 will start from 20th March notification. Last date of withdrawal would be 30th March and date of poll would be 19th of April.
As battle for 2024 begins, BJP is on an all-out 400 plus mission, but how well prepared are the contenders? That's the debate tonight. Lok Sabha elections to be conducted in 7 phases across the country, simultaneous polls in 4 states. Lok Sabha election results to be out on 4th of June. Stay tuned to India's election headquarters for the biggest election coverage.
बिना चुनाव कैसे कह देते हैं? ये कि इसके पास क्या तिलस्मी है? ये क्या जादूगर है? क्या है?
Congress spins the EVM theories minutes after EC briefing. Is this display of nervousness on 2024 polls? Overseas knocks Supreme Court's door against implementation of CAA, repeats divisive and anti-minority theory. Big development in Liquorgate investigation. K. Kavita now sent to 7-day ED custody. Well, the anticipation is over. The Election Commission has announced the schedule for the general election 2024 and for assembly elections in Andhra Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Orissa as well as Sikkim. By-polls in 26 assembly constituencies will be held in correspondence with polls in these states. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is seeking a 3rd consecutive term in the marathon 6-week vote, the world's largest democratic exercise. Challenging him is the INDI Alliance, led by the Congress party. But the question is who exactly has the edge? And before we play out the report, ladies and gentlemen, think about this. On the one hand, you have the Bharatiya Janata Party that has fielded some of its big names. Sitting union ministers to former chief ministers have all been fielded. On the other hand, you have the Congress party, which has essentially fielded only its leader, who has been on what many would say discovery of India. And he says that he is going to deliver Nyaya for the entire nation. It's only him. And apart from that, you've essentially not heard any of the top leaders of the Congress party being fielded, starting from the Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge all the way to senior leaders like Kamal Nath and several others. None of them have been fielded. Many say that some are still worried of contesting the upcoming Lok Sabha polls. So if the INDI Alliance essentially says that they are here to protect the constitution and against the dictatorial behavior of the Bharatiya Janata Party, then who exactly is contesting against the Prime Minister? Here's a report, and then we begin the weekend debate.
The poll bugle has been sounded. The Election Commission, in its much anticipated briefing, announced the dates for the 2024 elections today. The Lok Sabha polls will be held in 7 phases from April 19th to June 1st. The counting will be held on June 4th.
Schedule of the Lok Sabha poll, phase 1. We'll do it in 7 phases, as was done last time. 7 phases. Phase 1 will start from 20th March notification, 5 days from now. And last date of withdrawal would be 30th March and date of poll would be 19th of April.
The first phase will be held on April 19, when Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Rajasthan, Sikkim, Tamil Nadu, Tripura, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, West Bengal, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Jammu and Kashmir, Lakshadweep and Puducherry will go to polls. The second phase will be held on April 26th, when Assam, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Manipur, Rajasthan, Tripura, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal and Jammu and Kashmir will go to polls. Assam, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Goa, Gujarat, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Andaman and Diu and Jammu and Kashmir will go to polls in the third phase on May 7th. Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Jammu and Kashmir will go to polls in phase 4 on May 13. Phase 5 will be held on May 20th. Polling will be held in Bihar, Jharkhand, Maharashtra, Odisha, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. In phase 6 on May 25th, Bihar, Haryana, Jharkhand, Odisha, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal and Delhi will vote. And the polls will be concluded on June 1st, which will be the last phase or phase 7, when voting will be held in Bihar, Himachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, Odisha, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal and Chandigarh. Meanwhile, assembly elections will also be held in Andhra Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Odisha and Sikkim. Soon after the announcement, Prime Minister Modi and other BJP leaders exuded confidence.
पूरा राष्ट्र तैयार है कि विकास के नए शिखर को छूने के लिए पुनः नरेंद्र मोदी के नेतृत्व में सरकार भारतीय जनता पार्टी का गठबंधन बनाएगा।
अब की बार 400 पार इस संकल्प को सिद्धि तक ले जाने में हमारा योगदान करे।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने बूथ स्तर पर मजबूत तैयारी की है। हमारा संगठनात्मक तंत्र है, हमारी सरकार की उपलब्धियां हैं, इसलिए अब की बार 400 पार, फिर एक बार प्रचंड बहुमत की मोदी सरकार।
विनाशकाले विपरीत बुद्धि। कांग्रेस अब तक के इतिहास की सबसे कम सीटें प्राप्त करेगी और आज तो यही तय नहीं कौन सी प्राप्त करेगी।
Meanwhile, some in the opposition cast aspirations.
All development work will be tough. According to me, it's not good. He could have completed within 3 or 4.
बिना छेड़छाड़ ईवीएम, बिना चुनाव कैसे कह देते हैं? ये कि इसके पास क्या तिलस्मी है? ये क्या जादूगर है? क्या है?
To the Chief Election Commissioner, I'll say, you have denied us the right of being part of this nation. We have every right as Indians to have our own government.
ये जो मौजूदा भाजपा है ना, ये अपने राजनीतिक हित को साधने के लिए किसी भी एक्सटेंट तक जा सकती है, अभी देखते रहिए।
All political parties will be putting their best foot forward as the biggest festival of democracy is about to begin. Will PM Modi take a leap forward to his third consecutive term? Or will INDI Alliance be able to mark a significant dent in NDA's 400 par target? Let's debate.
On the weekend debate tonight from the BJP, Anila Singh, Shubhrashtra columnist, author, Pankaj Sharma, senior journalist, Vivek Silas, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Akashdeep Muni, leaning towards the Aam Aadmi Party, Professor Monojit Mondal, political analyst, leaning towards the Trinamool Congress. Let me open this debate by taking the opening remark from Anila Singh. Anila Singh, we are talking on a day when there has been a major setback that your government has also faced with regards to electoral bond. The opposition parties have made a stinging allegation. They say that this was a mode of extortion that was carried out by the government. The reason being that if you really look at some of those companies, or for that matter, organizations that have bought the bonds, were under the scanner of the central agencies, including the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate. Aam Aadmi Party says that this is the gundagardi of the Bharatiya Janata Party. That's the perception that is being created. As you go into the elections, you have encashed many of those bonds, and it turns out that this bond was a form of an extortion that was carried out.
My Ram to all, and they are not able to make any perception, because whenever they are going to make a comment on Bharatiya Janata Party, that you have got electoral bonds from this corporate and ED or IT or any other investigative agencies, they were doing their queries on these corporates, and yet you got the electoral bonds from them. So we have to ask, what about you? Why did you take funding? So when electoral bonds are being purchased, they are purchased in white money.
Here, Anila Singh,
and they are with SBI. It's a bank.
No, but the question here is that if you have Lottery King, who has been under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate, his son has joined the Bharatiya Janata Party. Anila, the argument that they are saying that it is not that right now, it could be that no one really knows who has actually used it because the unique numbers have not been disclosed. But the fact of the matter is also this, that Lottery King, who has actually given the maximum or has bought the maximum number of bonds, there is a linkage that has been, found out with the Bharatiya Janata Party. Hence, they are asking this question that isn't it true that a person who is under the scanner of the central agency within few weeks is actually buying electoral bonds?
So what is wrong in that? What is wrong in that? If Bharatiya Janata Party had something fishy about it, then they would have bought electoral bonds. Because when Supreme Court asked about the electoral bonds names, the list is...
So there is nothing to hide. There is nothing to hide because we have not done anything wrong. If the investigative agencies, they have to do their job, we are here to do the politics. Supreme Court or any other court, they have to do their judicial work. I think that Bharatiya Janata Party is going to say no, because you are under the scanner of these agencies or you're
absolutely right.
You are under trial.
Plundering openly.
So when electoral bonds are being bought in white, so what is the problem in that?
Professor Monojit, I'll allow you to come in. Please don't butt in like this.
Parties, even they have their names in the list, so they don't have any problem in that. Perhaps their problem is that why lion's share is with
Professor Mondal.
Party.
Okay.
Yes.
Got your point, Anila Singh. Professor Mondal was quite amused. Now let me ask you this question, Professor Mondal. As far as the Trinamool Congress is concerned, the Trinamool Congress is also a beneficiary of the electoral bond. So it is not only about the Bharatiya Janata Party. One also could raise the same questions as far as the Trinamool Congress is concerned. I want to take the debate a little further because this is not about the electoral bonds, it's about the upcoming Lok Sabha elections. And let's understand this. Let's understand this, Professor Mondal, as far as, let's begin with West Bengal. When you entered the INDI Alliance, you said that we're going to fight the Bharatiya Janata Party, the anarchy. This is about saving the constitution. This is about saving the democracy. But the reality is this, that you can't even save an alliance that you actually entered. You ended up telling the Congress party that you don't even deserve one single seat. So much so Mamata Banerjee goes and tells the Congress that this time perhaps you may not even remain the principal opposition party. So whom exactly are you fighting? Are you fighting the Bharatiya Janata Party or are you fighting the Congress party?
I'll answer this question, but I'll take the electoral bonds issue. You asked me about TMC getting benefits. It was legal. The TMC did not send ED, CBI or income tax department to a particular company this day, and tomorrow, the other day, they are they are buying bonds from TMC. That did not happen. In case of BJP, at least half a dozen company, DLA, Jindal Steel, that gaming company that you mentioned, gaming and future gaming and hotel company. How many companies? Today ED goes there, tomorrow income tax goes there, day after tomorrow CBI goes there. Within a span of 3-4 days, the same companies are buying bonds and everything stops. Iska matlab ye hai, chhapa maro, chanda lo. Chhapa maro, chanda lo. This was the means of BJP, and that's why what I am trying to say, and this is deeply concerning for the whole of the nation. What kind of democracy are we living in at this point in time? What kind of democracy is that? Only there is a facade of democracy. The people are voting, but ultimately it will be again dominated by one single party. If that is the case, then God save this country. Coming back to a question about alliance, Trinamool Congress, as far as my political reading goes, they made it amply clear that with Adit Chaudhary Congress, there cannot be any alliance in Bengal. That doesn't mean that TMC is not in the INDI Alliance. Look, TMC has got an alliance with Samajwadi Party in UP. TMC is fighting one particular seat that is being left by Samajwadi Party. TMC has got alliance with Aam Aadmi Party. Everywhere TMC will have alliance, but not in Bengal, because Bengal Congress is not the national Congress that we were part of at one point of time. This is Adit Chaudhary Congress, and Adit Chaudhary is remote controlled by BJP and
Professor
CPIM.
Professor Mondal, I think so it's a complete sham when any of you from the opposition parties say that you are serious about fighting these elections against the Bharatiya Janata Party, because each one of you have only shown streaks of being selfish. The reason why you are... No, I'll tell you, Professor Mondal, I'll tell you why. I'll substantiate my argument. I'm not just going to say this as some sort of a rhetoric. I'm substantiating this. The Aam Aadmi Party also says this, that okay, look here, I'm going to give you 1 or 2 seats here because we are not strong in other places. The places that I'm strong in Punjab, I'm strong in, I'll not concede space. Same goes for your party. Trinamool Congress does not want to, concede space in the state of West Bengal, because you know that is perhaps the only place where you can fight. Outside, you may not even get anything. So it doesn't matter. We'll show alliance ka badappan outside, but not the very place that you are contesting. Shubhrashtra, I'll come back to you. But it's very unfortunate. It is very unfortunate, because I think so. The reality is that no one has the gumption. No one has the gumption right now to fight. If at all you were serious about fighting the Bharatiya Janata Party on various issues like what you say, that, you know, the numbers in terms of, you know, poverty declining in this country can be contested. If you are saying that unemployment is on the rise, you know, these are all lip service. This is all lip service. Shubrashta, you know, narrative has been said. Unfortunately, is that you can't even fight the narrative. You don't, Professor Mondal, you don't, none of you from the opposition party.
You are completely
not at all. Professor Mondal, you know, as a student of sociology.
This time it will be TMC who will
no, sorry, Professor Mondal. Professor Mondal, I don't belong to any of the sides. Professor Mondal, I don't have the burden. Professor Mondal, please hear me out. No, Professor Mondal, unlike you. Professor Mondal, unlike you.
Even the recent history 3 years
no,
back.
Unsec.
Who fought
Professor Mondal. Professor Mondal.
Question. Who fought BJP out in 2021? Congress CPI.
I will answer all you.
Who fought BJP out? Who fought BJP out in 2021? Answer this question.
Can I now?
Yes.
First of all, Professor Mondal, unlike you, I don't have the burden. I don't have the burden of defending any one particular side. If at all the side that I've taken is the side for the nation. I'll answer that. Don't worry. In the course of the weekend, in the course of the debate, this is a long debate.
Don't
hear me out. In the course of this long debate, 1 minute, hold on. 1 second. I don't have to hide behind anything. I don't see. I am only answerable to my viewers. It is my job. It is my job as an anchor to ask the question. But Shubrashta, I want to bring. I will answer your question. Hold on, Professor Mondal. Professor Mondal, no one. Professor Mondal, you can't accuse me. You can't accuse me of taking any sides. First of all, secondly, I think so. As a citizen of this nation,
most neutral channels in the world.
1 second. I am only asking. My only simple question is that. My simple question is that this very INDI Alliance. This very INDI Alliance, hold on, this very INDI Alliance had declared in those various manthans that you had across the country.
Simple question.
I will answer. You said you fought the BJP. You fought the BJP in the state of West Bengal. Then you said that I will go to the northeastern states, and then you failed miserably. 1 second. First of all, Professor Mondal, listen.
So who is fighting BJP?
Shubrashta, let me bring you in, and I'll answer your question. Don't be. You simply say that you are just a regional party. You are a regional party. You can't think beyond West Bengal, and don't say that you are really in a position to fight the Bharatiya Janata Party. Because if you actually were serious about it, if you were actually serious about it, today you would have been in a position of navigating it. You are not in a position of navigating anything right now.
It is the third largest party in the parliament. Unfortunately, you are not in a position of navigating.
It is the third Professor Mondal, the debate is not between just me and you. Hold on. Professor Mondal, this debate is not about the state of just West Bengal. We are talking about the national politics. Let me bring in Shubrashta right now. Shubrashta, Professor Mondal, please hold on. Calm down. We were talking about the perception that has been built. As far as the BJP is concerned. Hold on, Professor Mondal. Please don't interrupt me like this.
Extremely cool breeze in
Professor Mondal,
Kolkata. Please ask your friend.
Please don't interrupt me like this. I don't. Okay. Shubrashta, the perception that has been created with whether at all the Bharatiya Janata Party actually crosses, along with the NDA, crosses 400 or not, that's a different aspect altogether. There are two perceptions that have been created. As far as the Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned, the opposition was hoping that with this electoral bond, it's going to come across as a big setback. Yes, questions ought to be asked of the Bharatiya Janata Party, especially keeping in mind if there are firms that were basically under the scanner of the central agencies, how did they, if you look at the timings, they are suspicious. Some questions are inevitably that is going to be asked. As far as the opposition is concerned, the second aspect is this. The second perception that the BJP is creating of the opposition here is that opposition seems to be in complete disarray, leaving space for the Bharatiya Janata Party, almost looking like it is a walk over for them. Many would argue that this does not augur well for a healthy democracy if there is absolutely no fight. There is zero fight in this election.
I absolutely agree with you. that a democracy is not meant to be a space where there are no challenge to ideas and there are no challenge to a political entity becoming almost hegemonic. But before we get down that route, let me put a few data points on the table. Let us remember that Bharatiya Janata Party, despite its strength politically across India, there are certain pockets in which BJP is not that strong. Howsoever, look at the body language of the opposition. The body language of the opposition is such that it gives Bharatiya Janata Party double the confidence than the party itself is confident of. And I think this is the most challenging situation that we have in front of us as citizens. If the body language of the opposition is not that of a challenger, if the body language of the opposition is that of a crybaby every time there is a political issue up for grabs, I think Bharatiya Janata Party should not be put in the dock for issues that the opposition keeps raising. Let us understand very clearly on the issue of electoral bonds, for instance. The opposition could have taken a moral position and said that, well, things have been wrong in the past. Historically, India has not been very, open about who funds which political party. And then they could have gone on to explain what is wrong with electoral bonds and what not. However, the positioning of the opposition is as if they have never taken any money from any corporate, as if the CBI and the ED and the other agencies, which in the words of a famous ideological state apparatus has never been used in this country. So that kind of moral positioning becomes very difficult for the opposition to explain and for citizens to digest. My point is, why cannot the opposition come out with an honest political narrative? It is very interesting and it is very important that we are at a point in our democracy where actually everything is in a flux. And thanks to Mr. Modi, that the way in which he has almost settled, all ideological issues that the BJP came up with in the very first place, there is time for a new kind of narrative that can be brought in the country. But if the opposition is hell-bent on playing the same broken record over and over, then there's nothing that can really happen.
Pankaj Sharbat, Shubhrashtra puts it in a beautiful manner that in a country like us, as vibrant as it is, one would have certainly expected that this election would be an election where you would have diverse opinions from where you can actually choose. But look at, I'll contrast this. The Prime Minister, today when he was speaking, he was talking about startups. The Prime Minister says that the word startup for the longest time was only associated with Bengaluru, which is a fact. But the reality is this, today in 600 districts of this country, we have startups. The language that the Prime Minister has essentially been using is about Viksit Bharat. Contrast that, Pankaj Sharma, with what today the leader of the opposition, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, is saying. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is saying that why exactly is the Bharatiya Janata Party constantly saying, ab ki baar 400 bar, ab ki baar 400 par? Is there some sort of a malfunctioning within the EVM? Trust me, as a citizen, what choice do I have? What are you really offering me? One which is all about negativity, one that does not give me an alternative, one that does not give me a vision. And that's where the problem lies, Pankaj Sharma. It is not about the Prime Minister. The fixation that the opposition has only with the Prime Minister has actually blinded them to such an extent that they cannot offer an alternative to the people. People, if they even want to choose, they do not have an alternative, Pankaj Sharma.
See, opposition, I don't think has any fixation. And since you have raised this EVM thing, and today our Chief Election Commissioner also, commented on this. And when I was watching his press conference, it was a little disappointing to see Chief Election Commissioner ridiculing the entire opposition while announcing the election dates. He must realize that the doubts raised on EVMs is a very crucial issue and cannot be a subject of any shero shairi. Taunting opposition by saying adhuri, hasrate and all that was really in a very bad taste. CEC was not only insensitive towards opposition's concerns, but in fact his bias was on bare skin display. How can the nation believe that he would make any true efforts to provide level playing field
Then
during
Pankaj
general
Sharma, the
elections?
question that many would ask, Pankaj, as an ordinary citizen, let me then ask you, I'm confused because the Congress party is in power in at least few states. They have been in power, were in Rajasthan, they were in power in Madhya Pradesh, and all of those elections happened through EVM. The moment you come to power, Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy does not talk about the EVMs. The Karnataka Chief Minister then does not talk about EVMs.
See, fixing EVMs or not fixing EVMs is a different question. See, I would welcome if my Prime Minister comes back for the third time. Today, you must have seen, I don't know if you have seen, Prime Minister posted a meticulously drawn out lengthy tweet after the announcement of poll dates. I sincerely bow before his desire expressed in this tweet. Do you know what did he aspire to? He says, in coming 5 years, he will be establishing the roadmap for the next 1,000 years to make India the embodiment of prosperity, all-round growth and global leadership. Sir, do you know Indus Valley civilization is around only 8,000-9,000 years old? And I am really proud to have a Prime Minister who has resolved to make a roadmap for next 1,000 years in his third term. 200 years future roadmap he'll prepare every year. It is strangely tremendous. I won't call it entertaining like 2 crore jobs every year Jumla was. I seriously feel Modi hai, to mumkin hai. We at least have someone who has a vision for 1,000 years ahead from now. He has taught us how to think big. So Narendra Bhai, he thinks very big. Let me complete in 1 minute. I'll take 1 minute more. In last National Council, National Executive of BJP, what did he say? He told his workers that we should get 370 additional votes on each and every booth across the country. Today, CEC told us that there would be 10 and a half lakh booths. So, 370 additional votes on all these booths means 39 crore votes. In last election in 2019, BJP got around 23 crore votes. So, as per Narendra Bhai Modi, BJP should get 62 crore votes. There are nearly 97 crore voters this time. Last time, the poll percentage was 67. Let's presume it will increase and it would be 70% this time. So 68 crore people will go to polling booths to vote. And out of those 68 crores, Narendra Bhai's party will get 62 crore votes. And others will be finished within 6 crore votes. So after hearing this, all the closed-eyed and closed-minded worshippers are singing the song of 370, 400, 370, where the ground reality is that BJP this time is starving for getting even the clear majority of 272. This is the ground situation.
Okay. I think so. The, psephology that you've actually done, Pankaj Sharma, right now, one will have to wait till 4th of June to actually realize that was your psephology that very correct. But Adila Singh, the opposition parties constantly say that for 10 years that you have been in power, most, as Pankaj Sharma says, is almost like Jumla, because you promised about the jobs that were to be provided that were not provided. But the fact of the matter is this, that the opposition parties are constantly hitting out that you have allies. The allies are not political parties. The allies are central agency, arms of the central agency. And there is no level playing field for them.
All right. Just now I was listening to Mr. Pankaj and he was saying the ground reality is that NDA is not going to get clear majority even, and they are claiming for 400 par, 400 par is par. 370 भारतीय जनता पार्टी और एनडीए का परिवार 400 पार. Definitely, we are claiming and we are going to get that. I don't know, you have done your groundwork on which grounds. Perhaps they are not in our country, not in our nation, Bharat, maybe somewhere else. But the reality is, the type of vote percentage support we are getting, and we are pretty confident. We have seen many surveys. I come from Uttar Pradesh. Last elections, Uttar Pradesh people voted 50% share to Bharatiya Janata Party or the NDA.
If you look at the numbers also,
so
the reason why when you are asking, is it,
which is
there are
known
two theories,
that whoever...
Anila, sorry I'm interrupting because, I want to get into a little specifics of it. There are two theories behind this Abki Baar 400 Par. One is that you're simply doing it because you want to spook the opposition parties ki pehle haar maan jao. The second is basically what you are essentially trying to do is create a situation where you have the opposition party simply beforehand, like it seems that it's working, because if you see, the Congress party has not fielded a single of its top guns. None of the heavyweights have actually gone in. Where exactly are you deriving those numbers from? Because a simple calculation from at least particular states like Tamil Nadu, even if you actually go beyond opening your account and perhaps going with a few more seats, you're hoping that the numbers are going to change in the state of Karnataka. But even then, it does not really cross.
Surely, if they want to get spooked, let them get spooked. If they are scared of Narendra Modi ji, let them be, because they have made this alliance because they are scared of Narendra Modi, his popularity, his work. That is why they have made this alliance, because they know it very well that if they are going to contest in isolation, they can't defeat Narendra Modi. So they thought that, okay, let us take a chance, let us come together and let us make a strategy and defeat him this time.
Akash Deep is not agreeing to that.
See, and they are trying to
does not agree.
Let me complete, please. Let me complete. I just have to say that the only mistake this opposition is doing, that still they are trying to contest elections on old classical way. And here, if I talk about Narendra Modi ji, he understands the...
Shravan. Okay. Shravan, it is very interesting.
Akashdeep, before you answer this question, also answer this. Do you think, just answer this question of mine also while you respond to everyone that has spoken. Do you believe that somewhere down the line, the regional parties have not been able to put up the fight that they wished to because the way they were treated by the Congress party all this while? Because what happened during the state elections also in Madhya Pradesh, we saw that bitter fight that Mr. Silas's party had with the Congress party. And for the longest time, everyone is saying that, we wanted to hurry up. Aam Aadmi parties, Arvind Kejriwal went on saying that ki jaldi karo, screening committees bathao, seat sharing talks jaldi khatam karo. There was that eagerness to fight, at least from the regional parties. You have been bogged down or perhaps pulled down because of the Congress party's inability to take everyone together.
See Shravanji, I have always said, and previously I have said on your show as well, that there has been some lethargy in terms of seat sharing, and that they should have been finalized much earlier. But coming on to the point of elections 2024, I can see the weakest Modi ji today than what I saw in 2014. Now let me substantiate why I say this. Just remember, in 2014, na khaunga na khane dunga, and today he has the ones on which he said that इनको चक्की पिसाएंगे, उनको गले लगाना पड़ रहा है. For example, अजित पवार, इन्हीं को तो बोला था चक्की पिसवाएंगे जिस दिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी आ जाए. आज उनके साथ ही है, उनको डेप्यूटी चीफ मिनिस्टर बना दिया है और उनको गले लगा रहे हैं. क्या करें भाई, अब करना पड़ेगा because it's 2024. Now let me come to the moot point of electoral bonds. Shravan, from 30 electoral bonds, 14 has been raided by ED, IT or some other agencies. The examples are Future Gaming, who has been raided on 2nd April, and then he bought bonds on 7th April. Microlabs raided on 14 July, bought bonds on 10th of October. Arvinda Pharma raided on 10th of November, bought bonds on 15th November. Sri Sai Electricals raided on 20th December, and then bought bonds on 11th January. I can go on and on and on. There are many. But interestingly, there are some who have bought bonds on 10th January, and then on 7th March, they have got the projects. That is torrent power. The others are also there who have bought bonds, Warsaw Sea Link, who bought bonds on 10th January 2022 and got the tender in 24 Jan 2022. My point is that I am not saying that these are linked directly. I am saying that whosoever has got the bonds, we today don't know that who has got the bonds because of the linkages. So be it BJP, TMC, Aam Aadmi Party, anybody. Will the BJP panelists today say that if the bonds who have the raided companies who have bought the bonds, if they have given it to Bharatiya Janata Party, then the accounts of Bharatiya Janata Party should be attached as ED has raided them and as it becomes proceeds of crime. So will Anila Singh ji acknowledge that जिसको भी ये पैसा गया है उसके अकाउंट्स को अटैच कर देना चाहिए ईडी के द्वारा क्योंकि वो प्रोसीड्स ऑफ क्राइम में आ जाता है. I'll just end with a just simple thing. Remember, Shravan,
by that
recently,
logic,
just last 10 seconds and then I'll remember recently CR Patil was speaking and while they सरपंच said that वडोदरा में सब हमारे गांव में एक भी प्राइमरी स्कूल नहीं है, बहुत सालों से आपकी सरकार है गुजरात में, हमारे गांव में एक भी स्कूल नहीं है, बनवाएंगे. टैक्स फायदे में है, भारत फायदे में है, मोदी जी विकास चाहते हैं, स्कूल एक भी क्यों नहीं है. ये वीडियो ऑनलाइन है, प्लीज दर्शकों जाके देखिए.
Okay, Shubhrashtra, you've heard what Akashdeep Puni has to say. So does Pankaj Sharma, because everyone seems to be, revolving around right now the electoral bond argument, but you've, put that out in a very succinct manner. That if at all they could have taken that high moral ground, they could have simply come out in the open by saying that, look here, we have got the funding from XYZ, organizations. We take the high moral ground on this entire matter. We don't have to wait for the unique numbers to be given on this entire thing. So how do you essentially look at some of these arguments that have been put forth?
Look, all said and done, I think the complaint against the opposition as a citizen of this country who really wants to see a healthy fight in a democracy would consistently remain. I don't see any of these people raising any argument about the common men of this country, men and women of this country. I don't see them taking any political fight to a logical conclusion. Look, Bharat Jodo Yatra, Bharat Jodo Nyay Yatra, whatever Rahul Gandhi, however he anointed it and named it, it comes to an end right before the elections would happen. Please explain to me the logical consistency of this. There is a political leader out there in the open who has ambition, prime ministerial ambition, so that's what we are made to believe. He ends a political yatra right before the model code is supposed to be announced. How are we supposed to fathom it and take that entire narrative as a serious narrative? And do you see anybody in the opposition actually coming forward and saying that yes, we do have a problem with Rahul, with this kind of a fickle-mindedness of Rahul Gandhi? I don't see any opposition leader worth their salt actually coming and challenging Rahul Gandhi on pure merit, pure arguments of merit, which is why, by the way, Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party is in a suit today. If people like you and I can argue and say that there are problems within the Congress, I just want to understand why don't the regional parties show some spine, show some electoral data which is right there in front of them, which shows that they are mighty. Why can't they go and show the mirror to the Congress party? I don't want to circumambulate and skirt away the real issue and talk about some of these banal arguments which are being made, because the point of the matter is this, that tomorrow when people would go out to vote in this general election, they are going to ask who will be the prime minister of this country, who is going to lead this country. even if the opposition makes us believe in some fantasy land that we don't need to vote for a prime minister, well, what are the agendas and what are the issues on which we are going to maybe replace this government by a new one? Is there any constructive, positive agenda that the opposition has fielded till now? What is their alternative model for development? Mr. Modi gave a model for development that, as proud Hindus, we have a cultural identity in place. We are an assertive nation today, and taking that assertion in mind, we will continue on our path of secular development. What is the opposition's agenda? Please explain. Somebody explain it to me in one line. It surely cannot be anti-Modi. It surely cannot only be about opposing Mr. Modi. Please tell me the alternative economic model that the opposition has.
In fact, Pankaj and Professor Mondal, that will come to you after this. Pankaj, if at all, for the longest time you've been arguing that secularism... Yeah, 1 minute. Professor Mondal, I'll come, but that question was also for Pankaj. Pankaj, for the longest time, most of the opposition parties have been arguing that secularism is dying in this country. Many would say that you are basically so obsessed with the Nehruvian idea of secularism that you are essentially not understanding the changing fabric of this country, first of all. And secondly, nowhere down the line has anyone argued that you are against any particular community. But asserting your own identity or asserting your own belongingness does not make you communal. The difference, Pankaj, here is this, that the opposition party is not being able to understand what exactly are you defining secular.
Okay, I could be obsessed with Nehruvian secularism. Can you please tell me, or if Anila ji or Shubhrastha ji, if they can enlighten me, what is Modian secularism? Yeah. What is Modian secularism? Keeping the entire one community, pushing them to the margins? Is that the Modian secularism? See, house of politics has a room for everyone. For those also who are sincere and want to join its study room, and for those also who are hobos and prefer to remain in its chandu khana. What can you do for them? Now this 370, 370, 400, 400, this kind of slogans can't win this election to Bharatiya Janata Party. Do you know there is a serious churning within BJP and RSS that this time, because of Narendra Bhai Modi's leadership, BJP is in a situation where getting the clear majority is becoming difficult. This is the situation. Let the BJP allies also, have some spine.
Anila, okay, Anila, say you want to respond because Pankaj Sharma says, what's your idea of secularism?
All right, I will tell you. We have always been secular. This nation, Bharat, has always been secular. All right, those who were not secular, they demanded their own nation and they made Islamic Republic of Pakistan. I as a Bharatiya, as a Hindu, we have always been secular. But those who strongly believe in the thought process of Britishers, a political party which was handcrafted by the Britishers, their definition of secularism was totally different. They always believed in divide and rule. This is what they did earlier. This is what they are doing right now. You accuse Mr. Narendra Modi that he is not a secular person. Sir, please tell me, has he taken control of mosque? Has he abrogated Places of Worship Act 1991? Didn't he criminalize triple talaq? Now the women can go and do their Hajj without any hindrances. Hasn't he made women of all religion, all castes more stronger than ever? Has he abrogated Waqf Act? Has he forced Muslims to sing Vande Mataram? What he has done according to you, that you are blaming Mr. Narendra Modi that he is not a secular person. Let me tell you, sir, I come from Uttar Pradesh. It is not a state, it is like a country in itself, and we have got the largest Muslim population living in this state. The maximum social schemes are, Muslims are getting benefited by these social schemes, maximum in number. And you are saying that Narendra Modi ji is not a secular person. Today, Muslim women, they are singing praises for Narendra Modi ji, and you are saying that Narendra Modi ji is not a secular person. Cite me one example. Majority of Islamic nations, they have awarded him with their highest award, highest civil award, and you are saying that he is not secular. So you are above all those Islamic nations, you are above all those Islamic women, and now you are saying that he is not secular. What type of definition of secularism you understand, sir?
Okay, Professor.
I'll tell you.
Professor Mondal, on the day when the Pran Pratishtha was happening. Okay, one second. Hear me out, and then you can respond. Professor Mondal, I'm coming to you only, but take my question too. Because, let me just, I'm just extending it because I'll cover this up because this is the last I can come to you also. Professor Mondal, this fear-mongering that is essentially done, that secularism is dying. If that was the case, on the very day when the Pran Pratishtha was actually happening in Ayodhya, Chief Minister of West Bengal took out what she called the unity rally. If secularism had actually died, that unity rally would not have existed, because there was an opposition against that Pran Pratishtha, but you were allowed. This was happening. So it is a free country, it was happening. So if those who wanted to participate in the Pran Pratishtha, they did. Those who wanted to participate in the unity rally of Mamata Banerjee, they did. So it's a country which is free.
Who says kapda dekh ke pata chalta hai ye log kaun hai?
And Mr. Manmohan Singh said that Muslims have got the first right on everything.
I'll call you out in a moment.
Never ever said this.
Anila ji, let Professor Mondal
you are giving citizenship on the basis of religion, you are calling it secularism. That's Modivian idea of secularism. When you exclude a particular religious denomination by law, is that secularism for you? What are you talking about? Are you going to make this reasonable classification in a refugee camp, saying that, oh, you are a Muslim, you are go out, you are Hindu, come inside? Is this the definition of secularism for you? What are we talking about? For whom I have tremendous respect, I know her toddler is disturbing her. You are talking about repressive state apparatus. This is BJP's way of winning election. ED, CBI, income tax. These are the three repressive apparatus by BJP. If BJP is so confident, answer this simple question. Why are they taking these corrupt political leaders from other political party to win election? Answer this simple question. They know that they are slipping. I'm giving you a reality check.
Subhrashtra.
9 states. No, hang on, just 10 seconds. 10 seconds reality check. 9 states in the left side of India map. 250 parliamentary seats. BJP is not even going to get 50 out of those 250. Go to the left side of parliament from Bengal down to Kerala. 9 states, 250 seats. BJP will struggle to get even 50 seats if votings are right. That's the reality check, and BJP and Subhransha must introspect on that.
I sometimes really wonder on a lighter note, even before the elections have begun, when the political parties throw up these numbers, how do they really come to that kind of a conclusion, and whether they have that crystal ball with them always. But Subhrashtra, one last word that I want to have with you, and this, something that someone as an investigative journalist who's covered several of these cases, it does actually raise this, I would say it pricks you. Particularly the fact that, leaders like Ajit Pawar, and there is merit to this argument. Leaders like Ajit Pawar or Ashok Chavan, against whom you've had leaders arguing during the elections that took place in the past, that they should be chakki piecing. Devendra Fadnavis had very popularly said chakki piecing. They don't have any qualms in bringing them back. Professor Mondal, just hold on, please hold on. So the question here is that for a party which has always argued that we are a party with a difference, and there is a massive crackdown on corruption, isn't there double standards in that argument?
I would absolutely not defend this, and I would absolutely say that yes, there is a double standard. And I would, as a citizen, again, I would weigh in and say that there is a double standard here, and there is a double standard when Mr. Mandal also speaks only about Suvendu Adhikari and Ajit Pawar and Ashok Chavan, and he forgets Shah Jahan. Look at what happened with Shah Jahan. Look at what happened with so many other. Sir, please allow me a word. I did not intervene when you were speaking.
Suvendu Adhikari has been lapped up by Mr. Amit Shah.
Professor Mondal, please don't do that. No one interrupted you. Professor Mondal, no one interrupted you. No one interrupted you. So let's be courteous enough. Let's allow her to also respond. It's okay. I'm sure she's aware of it.
I don't think when people go out to vote, they are really voting for absolutely clean, pristine leaders and political party in India as of now. We have not matured as a democracy to such an extent that there will be no distinction between what is said and what is practiced. Of course, we know that as a body politic, we are a corrupt body politic. So whether it is the BJP or it is the Congress, nobody can come out and say that we are absolutely crystal clear on corruption charges and we have done no corruption ever. That is something that will not happen. But then how are really political mandates decided by the citizens of this country? They look at a comparative analysis. They do a comparative analysis of leaders and political parties. And on a comparative analysis, I don't think today BJP comes out Congress or the other opposition leaders come out any cleaner than the BJP. Then what do we look forward to? Then we look forward to poll promises. Then we look forward to a party which has actually delivered on certain promises. If one were to look at the BJP manifesto right from the day of its inception till now, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they have fulfilled almost 90% of their promises under Mr. Modi's regime. Please tell me, why would the core voters of BJP not vote for Mr. Modi? Then let us talk about his welfare scheme. Somebody asked me what is Modian version of secularism. Let me tell them the Modian version of secularism is that without really saying that minorities should have the first right to resources in this country, Mr. Modi has ensured that any welfare scheme that has happened in this country does not reach only to the Hindu households. So when the Ujjwala scheme was announced, the Muslims were not kept out of it. Muslim women were not kept out of it. When there is a Poshan Abhiyan that is happening, all the schemes are delivered at ground zero without looking at the color of the skin or the kind of attire one wears. But yeah, you may continue to raise these political arguments all the time that Mr. Modi said that in a rally, which can be bolstered with what Rahul Gandhi said in what rally, what Mamata Banerjee said, how Mamata Banerjee behaves, how Samajwadi Party leaders behave. That kind of politicking can happen. But in terms of policy and in terms of ideology, I think the BJP has presented a very clear picture in front of the citizens, which none of the political parties till now have been able to do so. Which is why BJP is in a position that it is in, and opposition is in the position that it is in.
Well, thank you very much for all of you joining us on the weekend debate. It's surely an exciting time, an election that everyone is looking forward to. Thank you very much for watching the weekend debate.